Arctos, Chris here. Thanks for stopping by the channel. Hope you're having a great day. So today I'm sitting in the Eno River in the Piedmont, North Carolina region, and I'm excited to talk to you about the Sgian Dubh. We have 4 objectives for this video. First is, what is a Sgian Dubh? Second, how is it as a bushcraft or trail knife? Third, how is it as a everyday carry knife outside of the woods? And then 4, I'll show you this particular model up close a little bit further. So first of all, a Sgian Dubh stands for a black knife in Gaelic, Sgian knife Dubh black, and it's a traditional Scottish everyday carry knife. Now, as you can see from my channel, I have a whole playlist of history in the woods. I love history, studied it in undergrad, and I think we can learn a lot from it, including some really cool tools and gadgets and techniques to enjoy the outdoors, which is what we're all about on the channel. Now, so the Sgian Dubh, like many European cultures and cultures across the world, it's their everyday carry knife. So, for example, like in Scandinavia, you have the Mora and the Pucka. Forgive me if I mispronounce any of these. In the lower Germany, you have the Sax that came over to the UK, and then in Highlands of Scotland, you had 3 different kinds of knives. You had the Sgian Dubh, which is the smallest. A little bigger is the Sgian Aklish, and then you have the Dirk, which is the most famous. And while the Dirk, was also used as a fighting implement, like the Sax, this is probably the most used knife in Scotland traditionally. So the Sgian Dubh black knife, lots of different reasons about why it's called the black knife. A couple is that the handles and sometimes the scabbards were made with bogwood that had become black as it was aged in the bogs. Another is that it was done for there were black deeds done with the Sgian Dubh. But it was really their everyday use knife. You used it for eating, you used it for chores and for everyday use. So for that, I think it's obviously it's a good time-tested design. So getting into then how it is as a bushcraft and trail knife. So I'll get a little closer up with the camera towards the end of the video, looking at this one in particular. But it's not a particularly long blade. It's about 3 inches long. It has a symmetrical design, and it's a robust one-bladed knife that has a 90-degree spine typically. So for that, you can throw sparks with it, with that back of it. I particularly like it for having a one blade because I can get my thumb and really work on some fine detail work if I'm whittling or making feather sticks. And I like that it has that nice back to it, and is a one bladed blade. Let's see. So it's a little small to use as a batoning to make firewood. I think in that regard, the Sgian Aklish, which is a little longer, would be more practical for that. But you can do it especially because it has that nice 90-degree back to it. You can baton this, especially if you have a full tang version, which unfortunately this one is not. As a trail knife, I think it's really nice and light because it is the smaller version of the traditional Scottish knives. You put it on your belt. It looks nice, especially this version. You can have all sorts of different kinds of scabbards, but this version is super lightweight because it's that smaller version. I think it works great as a trail knife, as well as bushcrafting. I do think that as a bushcrafting knife, the Sgian Aklish would probably be a little better. Taking a look at it as an everyday carry knife, it is a fixed bladed knife, so it's not as convenient as a folding blade for everyday carry, which of course traditionally you didn't have folding blades in Scotland, and so they needed a small knife like we all do these days. So this met their needs perfectly. And I love having a fixed bladed knife. You know, yes, it's less convenient, but if you can get away with it, like having it maybe in your car, or around the house, I would go to this if I had a choice over a folding knife, just because of its robustness. You're not going to hurt this as much. There's less to break than a folding knife as everyday carry. Um, Especially if you're in more of a rural setting, and seeing this on your hip wouldn't cause as much of a commotion as, say, a more urban area. I think it works fantastic still, thousands of years later, as an everyday carry knife. It is a really good size. It's as long as most everyday carry knives these days as folders, and it just gives you a better handle that fits really nice in your hand, and a more robust tool for everyday carry. Now, let me go ahead and come a little closer to the camera here and show you this particular model. So again, the Sgian Dubh has that beautiful symmetrical shape, even in the handle, but it does have only one blade or one edge. Now you can get these in Scandinavian grinds, which is what I like better. This one is not Damascus style, it's just etched, but I do like, and you can see, because when you sharpen it, the etching doesn't go all the way through. It's just a surface level. Say what you will about it not being, authentically Damascus. I still think that is a gorgeous etching. Adds a little bit of flair. I like the brass, finish on it, as well as the dark walnut handle. It looks good, which, when you see this on somebody's hip, it's a little less maybe threatening, even in those urban environments, because it looks so good. It's not some tactical, belt knife or fighting implement. It looks like a nice hunting knife, which again is a great use for this as well. I like the stitching. It's beveled nicely, so it doesn't rub in any particular area as it's on your hip. It's for the price, which I'll put a link to the description below. I think this model is excellent. I do wish that I had maybe returned it. It came with a chip right at the end. I didn't notice that until I had it for a little bit, and then I felt like it was too late to return it. And I kind of like it. It gives it a little bit of character, but just make sure that if you do purchase this same design, to make sure and check the edge that it wasn't chipped or any other damage. And yeah, overall, I'm really pleased, especially for the price. This was a great way to explore a historical, everyday carry bushcraft trail knife, and have fun with some of that history. Thank you so much for stopping by the channel. I really appreciate your support. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Semper Paratus, and Coast to Chris out.